What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of Members Only, the EverWash podcast. We've got another loaded show for you here this month. To start on the Wash Wire, we'll go over the Attendant app nationwide rollout. Really excited to bring you all of those details. In addition to that, we've got our very first email in the mailbag, so we'll be answering that live on the air. Afterward, we'll bring Sean Pashley back onto the show for At the Car Wash. Yes, he's actually at the car wash this month. And he'll take some time to talk about what actually you should be focusing on this summer at your wash. Later on after that, we'll welcome on Todd Wichard onto the show. He's the owner and operator of Diamond Car Wash in Middletown, Delaware. He'll be celebrating 10 years of ownership this August, but he's got lots of experience in the industry as a chemical rep. He's here to talk about membership, growth, and what's changed since he's entered the industry. Of course, we'll end with a little suds and stuff, talking summer, talking sports, all that good stuff. If you got anything you want to tell us, call the mailbag line at 215-259-8048 or email us at podcast@everwash.com. And as always, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help out. Alrighty, without further ado, here's episode 6 of Members Only, the EverWash podcast. You're listening to Members Only, the EverWash podcast, a monthly conversation about membership, growth, and what actually works for car wash operators. I'm Max Pulcini, joined as always by my co-host Chris Villela. Chris, how we doing today?
Good, Max. How you doing today? How's the summer kicking off? And looking forward to anything special? We'll get into that later. But I was a little worried at first about the episode coming out of the car wash show.
Yeah.
Because it was so much, revved up, fired up. But, now we're coming into summer. Things are starting to slow down in the industry. Yeah. But it is a packed show, as you said, and really looking forward to getting into it.
Absolutely. We're going to get into our summer plans. But, man, is it good to have long days, sunny long days, lots of time to spend outside, and lots of time to spend in the comfort of the air conditioning at home as well. But like you said, Chris, we got a packed episode here. We've got another great interview lined up. We've got Sean back on to talk about summer planning and what should be on top of everyone's minds in these next 3 hottest months of the year. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the Wash Wire and talk news. Sound good?
Absolutely. Let's get at it.
All right, guys, keep it locked here on Members Only, the EverWash podcast. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back with Members Only, the EverWash podcast and the Wash Wire, our look at what's happening across the industry and within our own 4 walls here at EverWash. And yes, we've got another big one this month, something we've teased and talked about, but the deed is done. The Attendant app update is out and rolled out nationwide, Chris.
Nationwide. We spoke about it at length in January, teased it a little bit in February, honed it in the next couple months, and the Attendant app's up, really improving the attendant experience, the user experience. Have some great early returns on it, great feedback. Yeah. Worked out a couple little kinks, but all in all, very successful rollout.
Awesome. We'll get more into some of the feedback that you've heard in a minute here, but just in case you've lived under a rock in the last 6 months and haven't been tuning into our show or the EverWash emails or our website with our press releases and news, the Attendant app is our biggest app update to date, especially for wash attendants, right? We do have a 2-sided app, just to be clear. It's one EverWash app, but if you log in with member credentials, you get your member side of the app. But if you're registered as an attendant and log in with those credentials, you get an entirely different experience. And that experience has been completely streamlined, right? Our sign-up flow is improved. Account detection is now in place. So that way attendants aren't mistakenly creating duplicate membership accounts, which obviously eliminates the need for customer support, any of that kind of stuff. We have win back prompts built in. We have the ability for attendants to sell additional memberships to existing members. So the family plan is no longer something that has to be activated within the app by the member. It can be sold on site. So we have so much going on right now with this app update. You can understand why it's taken us a while to get the kinks ironed out, as you said, Chris. But what's the feedback been? What have you heard from our wash operators out there using it right now in the wild?
Really, Max, what we've been hearing, the team, I meet with the team daily on it since it's fairly new rollout. We want to make sure we're responding to anything we hear, but feedback's been very good. When you do something of this scale, you always get a little concerned with some technology and how it's going to react when it's out in the wild. But like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's been nominal. The feedback, they've been any concerns, any issues we've had to deal with have been minimal. It's full speed ahead now.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've made sure that we've really communicated this thing out to all of our wash partners. We've done doubly the same job at communicating with our attendants.
Yes.
The actual boots on the ground that are going to be experiencing these changes on a daily basis. And like you said, on my end, the feedback's been great. Really happy that we finally got this out in the wild, and then obviously continue to get this feedback and continue to iterate and improve. This isn't like concrete, right?
Yeah, it's not release and walk away. It's the platform it's built on is far more agile. Changes can come quicker. We're not going to wait as long as we did to roll things out now. It'll be on the fly. What I'm really proud of is the entire team, the entire EverWash team, to send. From a technical aspect, to roll out something of, like I said, of this scale, that it was significant change, everyone, and the team performed admirably, without a hitch. The planning, the prep, your team with the go-to-market strategy and executing that. Hats off to Ryan. Could not, knock on wood. Hold on. It couldn't have went better, in my opinion, and we're really looking for that feedback because, like you said, the amount of change you went over. It's a whole new experience for the attendant, and it's been so intuitive that the feedback we've gotten it's really been nothing like what is this now? It's more like, hey, this isn't working here, this isn't working there. Smaller fixes, but to handle something of this scale with this lack of feedback, hats off to everyone. Great job, team.
Yeah, 100%. And not to get too much into how the sausage is made, but to your point, on commending the entire team. This was not just an effort by our IT research and development team, right? This was the marketing team involved, right, with our go-to-market strategy, the account management team, and making sure that all of our wash operator, wash partner concerns were addressed before we rolled this thing out. On our sales team to help unearth some of the objections that they get when they demo these tools, right? To make it a more appealing product to anybody who may be listening who is not a current EverWash partner, right? So this was really an all hands on deck project, and now we're on to completing the next all hands on deck project.
Don't say it.
Okay.
I'm a superstitious guy. Let's say that. Hopefully next month when we come back, we're gonna have some really good news also.
Yeah. So as always, the Wash Wire is your place to hear the latest and the greatest from EverWash. So hopefully we have some more good news to share this time next month.
Yes, that's the plan.
Well, if you're a Wash partner and you have any questions on the new update, please don't hesitate to reach out to your account manager for more help. But speaking of help, we had someone actually reach out to our mailbag for the first time, asking for some help, some feedback on what they're brewing on right now, Chris.
2 months of begging actually now gets results. So hopefully this opens up the floodgates and not the 9 phone calls we got complaining about me on the pod. Now I'm kidding. The 9 spam calls we got on the line.
I was really excited when I
gonna
logged
say,
in and saw 9 calls to the voicemail line, and half of them were Pico asking if they could change our energy plan. Like, I don't even know how that works.
Did you?
Absolutely not.
So, Max, in preparation for this monumental event, I literally printed the email out.
Okay.
And I'm going to read it out loud to you. So, Max, without further ado, the first email.
Let's hear it.
All right. Hey, guys, this is my first time writing into the show. Love what you guys are doing. So, my partner and I just opened our first location, a 2-lane in-bay automatic site a few months back. It's been a little slower than we had hoped, especially right now. And again, that's not unheard of going this time. I kind of stumbled onto the podcast and the EverWash platform around the same time. It's got me thinking about actually getting a membership program. So my actual question is now a good time to reach out and get set up? Or should we wait for things to pick up first? I just want to make sure whatever we do when we pull the trigger, we're doing it the right way to maximize the growth for the rest of the year. And I think Max, that is from Jason in Texas.
All right,
we appreciate that. Max, I could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
As could you, as could anybody who really focuses on membership. There's no bad time.
Yeah.
Today is the time. Tomorrow's the time. Yesterday was the time. So don't wait till you pick up. Use this as an engine to pick up, and work together as you're growing your business. Don't wait till your business is months and months and months old and you're picking up some traction where you may get distracted. You may lose those opportunities to start growing your membership. Every day counts. That's all I'll say.
We always say it, in the building, Chris. Hope is not a strategy, right?
I love that.
But membership is. So there's no better time to add a proven business model as soon as possible, right? Mm-hmm. Start building loyalty. Freeze out the competition while you can by fostering this loyalty through membership. I totally agree. There is no time like right now. Strike while the iron is hot, and give us a call, Jason. I mean, we have a lot of people here ready to help. Consult, especially if you're a first-time wash operator. New location. I'm assuming it's maybe your first time as a car wash operator, but the consulting side of things is where I think we really shine, especially in the beginning, right? Making sure that you're set up for success. We have your signage is, your journey is adorned with the right messaging. Your attendants are set up to sell now with the new and improved attendant app, right? So, if you're on the fence about giving us a call, dive in, shoot, we might just email you back
yes,
and get the conversation going.
Yeah, we're not going to wait 2 months to email you back either.
But
we'll get right back to you.
But this is a great question.
Yeah, I don't want to sit there and sound like we're trying to sell you on the pod, as part of our podcast, coming here and selling. But reach out. We can have a discussion. Jason, it might not be a fit. We might not be a fit, but we can help. That's what we do. Max said about the consulting. You might hear something you like, you might hear something you don't like, but we just want to be a part of your journey, see how we can help and help you make the best decision.
Yeah. And it's a partnership. I mean, to that point, like, push back, please. I mean, that's the whole point of any partnership, whether it's business, whether it's marriage, right? It's talking it out. And
how much time we have?
Are we about to open a therapy session right now?
Yeah, we could.
But the point remains, right? It's a partnership. It's all about communication. It's all about doing what you feel is right, for you. And we're just going to bring in data from the 1,500 locations we've worked with over the last almost decade.
Yeah, Jason, you've taken the first step. Now, you've done the right thing. You're doing the right thing, and your thought process is correct. How to grow that membership, get that recurring revenue, and really, really, make your business more successful.
Yeah. So, Jason, thanks for the email. Really appreciate what I hope will open the floodgates to more of these operator questions. Again, keep them coming. You can call in. We'll play your voicemail live on the air, 215-259-8048. Or email us at podcast@everwash.com.
Can we frame this and put it up in the office?
Yeah.
That's the first.
Yeah.
Like our first dollar bill.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Up next, we're going to check in with Sean Pashley at the car wash to see what's burning on his mind this summer. We'll be right back. Keep it locked here. Welcome back to Members Only, the EverWash podcast. Sean Pashley, our VP of Partner Success at EverWash, is back this month for something straight from the field. Yes, he's back at the car wash. This time, he's talking about what he's telling operators to focus on right now, heading into the heart of the summer. Yep. So, without further ado, here's Sean.
Hey, Max and Chris, it's Sean, the membership guy at EverWash, with my At the Car Wash segment for this podcast. This time, I'd like to talk about summer planning, right? Hopefully, we've all done some great summer planning. We've got some really good vacations planned, that sort of thing. We need to be planning for our car wash as well, right? I love the consistency that summer provides. So I really think of it in three major points that I like to talk about. One is we don't want to lose members, right? So you've got to be great to members. It's a great time to make sure that you're thanking everyone, giving them swag, making sure they're staying on, making sure they know they can pause the app for vacations, those sorts of things, right? That's critical. You don't want to lose members. You also have to keep your conversion up. With less opportunities, you need to make sure you're maximizing every opportunity. Number two, I like to do the cleaning and projects and construction, all the things that I've been looking to do all year, something maybe that came along, cracks in cement, whatever. You may hear we've got some stuff going on now, you may hear in the background. But I like to have an ongoing bucket list, 3 buckets, right? Bucket 1 is projects that will take 1 employee under an hour. We have a ton of those, and there's a ton of those you can get done each day in the summer, right? It's a great opportunity when it's slow, like right now, in between pops, have one person go knock off one project, then another person, so on. Bucket 2 are projects that might require a second person, like getting the gutters done or that sort of thing. Somebody's got to hold the ladder, whatever. And bucket 3 are projects that are probably better for rainy days when you're closed, all right? So that's an ongoing list that when employees bring you great ideas on something that needs to be done, hey, the walls in the restroom need to be washed. Okay, let's go put that on bucket 1. And then they can knock off projects. You can incentivize somebody knocking off extra projects, whatever it takes, okay? And then revamping, thinking about, the projects that you want to get done before peak season. And then thirdly, diving more into planning and projects, I like to think about it all. Capital expenditures, right? It's hard for us in the car wash industry to think about and make plans in October, November, December, and January, like a lot of other businesses do. This is our time to be able to get our employees involved. Hey guys, what needs to be fixed? What's broken? Remind me, right? And putting together your plan for when are we going to get the blacktop done? When are we going to get this done? When are we going to put the new extra bollards in? When are we going to replace that vacuum, the track, change chemicals? Any of those things, put together your plan now. And I also like to put that plan together and have that several years ahead. Like, hey, we know this track's got another year in it. We're going to replace it. Hopefully we can make till then. And then you could plan on expenses rather than them popping up. And then things like manpower planning. It's so important. Let's say you've got one college kid working for you in the summer. You've got one person on the bubble who you're warning, he comes in late, calls out, and you've got, maybe you're short a person. You're now minus 3 people going into your busiest season of the year. So put together your manpower plan. How many people do I want? Start with your weekends and back into there and figure out your ideal manpower plan. And then be honest with yourself about planned turnover. That means minus a person, even though that person's there, because they may not get it together. So that's it. Hopefully that gives you all something to think about. Chris and Max, back to you.
All right, Chris. Sean shared 3 things to zero in on this summer for operators. 1, don't lose members, maintain, right?
Yes.
2, keep the wash sharp, worry about your maintenance. And 3, plan ahead, right? Mm-hmm. Think about the things that you might not have been thinking about otherwise. Simple, right? 3 simple things, but a lot of operators aren't thinking about this, especially if it's coming from Sean. He's talking to these operators on a daily basis. He knows what's on their mind and what's not. So, Chris, what are your thoughts on those 3 items that Sean shared in his video?
Yeah, it's important, and this is a common used term. Don't take your eye off the ball.
Yeah.
You worked so hard at the beginning of the year to get where you are today from a membership standpoint. Yeah. Work even harder to maintain your membership. Make sure, you limit attrition to the minimal amounts, if any, get through those hot months or summer months where volume starts to dip a little bit with the same members. From a planning perspective, Now you need to start thinking about 2027. While everything at the beginning of the year that worked and didn't work is still fresh in your mind, start jotting notes down, laying out your plan for next year. That's an important, really important part of that. And now wash maintenance of your location. Do what you need to do, improve, make upgrades, make sure you're doing things to improve the operation, make a better customer experience. Add towel dry, and we're gonna hear about that later. But just tweak the things, tighten them up, staffing, good opportunity to train, cross-train people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things like that. Sean's always talked about that in the past, but now's the time, planning, preparation, and move forward in 27.
Yeah, I'll zero in on a couple things or kind of highlight a couple things here on the don't lose members, right?
Yes.
Think about creative promotions. One of the things that we recommend during these summer months, as far as promotions go, is, think about offering things that are maybe multi-month discounts, right? Because if we lock them in now and you kind of have them, your claws are sunk in for maybe a 2 or 3 month long promotion. Well, by the time the discount is over, they're now at the point of the year where that car wash membership is going to come really in handy as we enter the winter. And then after the winter, we enter the pollen, right? So if we can get our hooks in them now by offering a really creative or attractive promotion, we got them in for potentially the whole year, right? So that's that. On the maintenance side of things, it's much better to fix, your conveyor when you're only washing 15 cars a day, as opposed to waiting until November when you're washing 500 and the thing craps out on you in the middle of a busy day.
Yes.
So, again, that's not rocket science, but it's something that people don't think about, right? You don't think about the issue until it manifests.
Yeah. And again, we're not telling car wash owners anything they don't know. We're reinforcing it through shared experiences with our partners.
Yeah. But of course, the planning piece is what really resonated with me and with you as well. Sean mentioned things like CapEx, capital expenditure. Now we're talking finance courses here, right? and he talks about really thinking about your manpower and your workforce on those slow days, right? Don't overstaff, right? Staff properly, and you won't need to cut people, right? And that's really. These items are really at the heart of what our back-end consulting offers car wash operators, right? We might get you set up, and we're going to have all these conversations with you when you first sign on with EverWash, but, a lot happens from signing and launch and maturation. So this is where Sean and Frank really come into play to continue to refine with our wash partners, talk them through what's on their mind, and get them focused on what drives growth. I mean, Chris, I know you're a lot closer to that department than I am. Anything you want to add to that Sean and Frank bring to the table?
Well, using real world experience, as you know, Max, I like to tell stories. We have two now. We have 2 washes right now that are basically rebranding their site. They're not changing the name or anything, but they're updating their signage. They're freshening everything up, knowing what's coming down the pike. And now's the time to do that. Yeah. Now's the time to focus on that, not when you're running around in the busy season, like you said, washing 500 cars a day. So 2 real world experiences I'm seeing, and we've had other ones do this, price changes, things like that. Let's not try to jam everything in November, December. Let's prepare for November, December, which leads into their busy season.
Absolutely. And I think, these kind of conversations are what kind of gets lost in the sauce when we talk about EverWash sometimes. We love to talk about the app, the technology, right? But there's an entire team of folks in the background always working for the car wash operator, for the wash partner, because ultimately we only succeed if you all succeed, right? So it's really important for us to bring you guys these tips, these tricks, these tools to optimize your wash and help grow your membership and your bottom line at the end. So, Chris, anything you want to add to that?
And just to close the loop on that, on the success team in the background.
Yeah.
To say they're passionate is an understatement. Max here's, it's like a family. You know, I fight with my sisters, but at the end of the day, I love them. But there's things we're going to argue about, and the passion really comes out in their day-to-day work, whether it's Frank or Sean or April, Steven, Garrett, the account managers. They're really focused on your success and doing what's right by the customer. And that's what I always tell them. If you do it right, if you do what's right by the customer, we will stand behind you on that. So
absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So to recap, Sean suggests that we focus on 3 things this summer, guys. All right. 1, planning. 2, maintenance. And 3, maintain those membership numbers, right? Don't give up. If you see things starting to drop, well, your membership numbers start to drop. It's time to, grease those wheels a little bit more, work the lot a little bit more.
Yep.
Just because you have less folks visiting doesn't mean that you can't sell just as successfully as you will any other time of year, right?
Like we say, using our sports background, you might have less at bats, but you need to increase your batting, your batting average.
That's right. That's right. Get those RBIs. Bat them in.
Yes, I think I got hit in the head with a bat today or something. I don't know.
All righty, guys. Well, that does it for At the Car Wash with Sean Pashley.
Thank you,
Sean.
Sean.
Sean's off next month. We are going to be back with Jane Lee and another look at data drips, where we're going to uncover some hidden knowledge from the data we see every day here in the car wash industry. So cool. We're going to take a quick break and get to our interview. We're going to have Todd Wichard from Diamond Car Wash in Middletown, Delaware on. He's going to be celebrating 10 years of business this August. So excited to catch up with him about what's new, his journey, and I'll talk a little about membership with him. So keep it locked here on Members Only, the EverWash podcast, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Joining us now by phone is Todd Wichard, owner of Diamond Car Wash in Middletown, Delaware. Todd's been in the car wash industry for 20 years, though he didn't come up as an operator. He came up as a chemical distribution side, selling soap to washes, before eventually buying Diamond from the previous owner. In August, Todd hits 10 years of ownership of the car wash. He runs a 100-foot tunnel, an IBA, 3 self-serves, and a dog wash, though he may have some plans for that dog wash coming up soon. Over the last year, his membership program has grown 13%, and he's been focused on continuing that momentum, working with Sean to make that happen. We've got him on the line now. Todd, welcome to Members Only. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great on our end. Thanks for joining again. Really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Anytime.
So let's start by asking you some questions on your background and your path to ownership here. 20 years in the industry, you started on the chemical distribution side. Tell us your story. What did selling chemicals to washes teach you that you couldn't have learned about the industry otherwise?
Well, I actually started in 1998 with Blue Coral Systems, and then we were purchased by Ecolab and then purchased by Zep. Vehicle care.
Right on.
And when I started in 1998, I started as just a chemical sales rep. I was transferred over to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I stayed for about 2 years, dug into the territory and learned the business by making mistakes, which I highly recommend.
Right, of course.
Making mistakes and you learn from them, right?
Of course.
And that just made me grow from there. And they transferred me back to, I originally am from Maryland, and they transferred me back to Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey territory. So I moved to Delaware, and I continued as a sales rep for 6 total years, and then I became a district manager.
Right on.
And then I managed sales reps for 12 years. And I did that. My district was at any given point in time from Virginia Beach to New York City, all the way to Indianapolis, Indiana.
Wow, that's quite the chunk of territory right there.
I was going to say, that's not a district. That's a region.
Yeah, that was the district. And I hired people and trained people, and I ran routes, and in between reps and things, I had to cover their routes until I hired and trained somebody to get them up and going. So I learned quite a bit doing all of that. And yeah, and that's kind of where I came to get married and started having children. And I was selling the operator here, Chris
Right.
McQuaid, who built this wash 21 years ago now. And he was a customer of mine, and he lived here in Middletown where I reside. And we became good friends and went over to each other's houses for parties and holidays and things like that. And in talking, I was telling him how, I was staying in hotels 3 to 4 nights a week, and I'm traveling a lot, and my kids are getting older, and I want to be home for them and be able to enjoy them growing up and coach them in their sports and athletics and things. And he said, well, Todd, he was a retired Maryland State Trooper when he bought this or built this place.
Mm-hmm.
And so after 11 years, he was ready to retire for good. So he said, why don't we see if you could purchase the wash? Is that something you'd be interested in doing? And I was like, yeah, we can look into it. And a year later, I owned it.
Nice. Nice. What was that?
Yeah,
what was that handoff like? Did you change anything at the jump, or did you kind of like let it sit as it was? Like, what was the first year like when you bought it?
Yeah, I basically just incorporated a few things here and there that I had seen in my dealings in chemical industry with different operators. So I tried to take anything that I saw was working and incorporate it into here. I cleaned up the site some more. It was already in pretty good shape, and put some fencing up and things like that, and added a few more chemicals. And basically, I kept it running the way that it was.
Nice.
And just tweaked it a little bit here and there.
Nice. Well,
So,
still
yeah,
sounds like it kept you
good.
busy. I hope you ended up getting around to coaching more of your kids' sports teams after buying the wash.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
It was the best thing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Awesome.
Been there, done that. Todd, as far as the membership program goes, any learnings you could share with other operators who may be listening from when you first got in? I mean, you had a relative, I don't want to say head start, but you worked on the chemical end. You were familiar with membership. What surprised you from the operator end once you got into it?
Well, I saw the membership program growing from its existence. And everybody, of course, was a little hesitant about it in the beginning, thinking, how is the membership plan going to work? It's going to take away from your revenues that you already have with your existing customers. How is it going to work that they're going to be able to wash 30 times in a month if they want to, or more? And so what's your cost per car going to be? Mm. And just over the time, you just kind of, in talking to other operators and things that I've seen it work for them. I decided after I was probably in this wash for about 5 years when I decided to give it a go. And I started out on the platform with ICS because they're my software provider.
Right.
And I started off using their memberships, and I had the sticker and everything. I was putting it on the windshields. And then I went and was talking to other operators and things that I've known for years and years now. And EverWash was brought up to me. And so I reached out to EverWash and actually met Sean. He came to my wash, and Frank. And they discussed the program with me and told me how it works and everything. And I thought that the phone app was definitely much better and easier than what I was doing. So I switched it all over to that. And I've been doing that for about 5 years now, almost 6 years. And it's been good. It's been a good experience. I've been kind of just kind of letting it run itself. And I had hired, I didn't really have a sales force to do it. I was using my existing employees.
Right.
So my ticket writers, or my cashiers, if you will, were the ones that were selling it. Mm-hmm. And I think the mistake that was made in that area, which I guess live and learn, right, was that they were doing more than just the selling.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they were doing the cashiering. They were also prepping cars. And just to back up a little bit too, Max, we're a little bit different here because we don't have the pay stations. We actually go out and greet every customer
Right.
as they come in. So the cashier actually has to go out and greet the customer and then come back in and enter the wash into the POS. And then take the change back if they pay by cash or their credit card receipt back to them. So they were doing more than just selling. And so the program grew a little bit here and there, and it got up to, I don't know, it was 500 members or maybe 550. And then I would try to push it a little bit more and give them a little more incentive and everything. And just over talking to different operators and talking to Sean and talking to you folks at EverWash, that I think it was time to hire just a full-time salesperson that's all they did was sell gloves.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
that's a
So
huge
that's
step
kind of-
forward.
Yeah. You pushed all your
Kinda where I am
chips
now,
into the middle.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really good story of, growth over time and seeing the value of growth. But the last 12 months has been pretty good for you. We've seen, in preparing for the interview, I saw that you had about a 13% increase in the last year.
Yeah.
Anything special drive that, or that was just from a more focus on dedicated sales reps?
Well, I haven't even incorporated the sales rep yet, so I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen in the coming months after I hire the sales rep
Mm-hmm.
and see what the growth is going to be there. I'm hoping to get a minimum of 10%, if not 20 or 30% growth,
Right.
possibly by next year.
Absolutely.
But I think one of the things that helped me with the increase in the sales for the 13% year over year is I reached out to you all and I wanted to get a little more an easier transition to sign the members up. So we created QR codes and we put them on Windmaster signs, and I have them on my big membership sign. And they're in like 6 different locations on the way down my lane.
Yeah, the entire
before
journey.
they enter into the wash. So yeah, and I do have the membership sign, different ones, 11 times. So the customer sees that sign 11 times before they get to somebody and talk to them.
Wow.
So I think that's kind of helped as well. They're different signs, but they all talk about membership.
Yeah. Whatever you're doing.
And the QR,
I'm sorry, Todd.
no worries. The QR code has definitely sped things up. So they, when somebody comes up and we talk about the club or whatever, and they say, "Oh, well, we can sign up," I said, "Well, we can do it right now." And they just take out their phone, they scan the QR code, and the landing page comes right back up with all of our membership options.
Mm-hmm.
And they just pick an option, and 5 minutes, and they're done.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we like to talk about, and I think in some of our conversations in the past, Todd, we've talked about this. It's about removing friction, right? Making things as easy as possible for the customer, and that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves here at EverWash in doing is offering an app-based solution. Everyone's got the phone in their pocket. So if we're already working off a device that everyone has and interacts with every day, that's removing friction. Things like QR codes, right? Every restaurant in the world now, the menu is a QR code that you scan and you look at it on your phone. So it's just, removing friction and creating experiences that people are used to in their everyday lives. So it's great to see that you are really, hanging on to those things and trying to replicate that as much as possible on your site. The other thing that stands out, when we're just talking about, staff and everything, you can have one person that does 5 things really, really well. But for membership to really grow, when it comes to a dedicated salesperson, you need one person that does that one thing perfectly, right? So it's really great to hear you share that frame of mind when it comes to your staffing and what you need to do to grow. Chris, anything to add to that?
No, I think it's a great story, and it's what I like, Todd, is you're progressing as you grow. You're not being complacent. You're looking for different avenues, different paths to achieve further success. And those are the partners we enjoy working with. And I had said it on another podcast, but I always tell people and customers when I talk to them and they're a little hesitant about hiring people dedicated to sales, I said, if that person's not your highest paid employee, then it's not working. You want that person to be your highest paid employee. You want them to grow that recurring revenue so high that they become invaluable in a sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
I agree. And I think that the chemical side, when I was selling the chemicals and when I was just a manager or when I was actually selling them myself, I always tried to improve on operational, how the chemical got onto the car, how it mixed it. Can I improve it? Can I reduce the cost in any way? Can I add more air or take more air away or whatever? So I kind of have that mindset. So I have tried to incorporate that into the changing environment for selling the gloves.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredible perspective to have as somebody who came from another job within the industry. A lot of the folks that we work with, first-time car wash owners, they have other jobs from outside of the car wash industry. They may be a banker or they may be a real estate person. You have a really huge advantage having the frame of reference from your time in the chemical industry and really knowing how these operations work. So that's just invaluable to have.
Yeah, and it was an eye-opening experience when I first became an operator, because as a sales rep and sales manager teaching my sales reps, you always got to empathize with an operator, but you don't really know what that operator is going through on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Until you get to be an operator.
Right. So
you're wearing a lot of hats as an operator.
Sir.
That's for sure.
So how long?
If you're a hands-on operator, especially.
Right.
How long after you purchased the wash did you say to yourself, "Why didn't I do this 15 years ago?"
Yeah, it wasn't long. It wasn't long, and there's some days, of course, just like in anything you're in, where you're like, "What did I do? Why did I do this?"
Right.
It was so much easier on the other side, but
right.
When all said and done, I think you make your decisions and you live with them.
It sounds like you made the perfect decision.
Yeah.
For yourself. Now, before we move on to the next, before Max rolls through the next topic, what sports were you coaching? We always, if you listen to us, Todd, we always talk. We try to incorporate sports in everything. Max and I.
Yeah, absolutely. Mainly baseball.
Nice.
Softball, soccer. At the young age when they were 7 or 8 years old, I was coaching them soccer. And the coaching thing actually came about that my wife threw me into it and just volunteered me to be a soccer coach at one time. And I went out there and here, all these little 7-year-olds running around kicking the ball. And I was like, it was fun. I just had a great time and enjoyed spending the time with my kids. And then it progressed into, little leagues and baseballs and the softballs. And, and it's invaluable the time that I got to spend with them. So
yes, I've been there and I could not agree more. I have a feeling my kids are a little bit ahead of yours. So I'll be coaching my granddaughter here in a year or two. So I loved it.
Oh, wow.
I always loved it. I want to make a bet that when you stepped on that soccer field, you never played soccer or coached soccer in your life before.
Never played soccer for sure. I just played pickup games and stuff, but I've never played competitively. And I certainly never coached it. I didn't know what I was doing, but all the other coaches were like, just throw the ball in and just keep it going. And I was like, okay.
I literally feel like I'm having some deja vu here from about 1998, 9 when I started. I'm standing on that soccer field going, I have no clue what I'm doing.
It's simple, guys. You kick
Yeah.
the ball in the goal. That's it.
That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Hey, Todd. So,
And now, of course, we've
I'm
got
sorry.
the kids going to college, and my daughter is
Yep.
going to be a senior in high school, and my son just graduated high school, and he's going to play baseball in college.
Amazing.
And so we're looking forward to the next chapter.
That's
awesome.
great.
Well, congrats on all that, and lots of success to your kids and your family. Kind of
Thank
moving
you.
on here. Yeah, of course. So, talking with you seem to be a pretty agile, creative guy when it comes to signage, when it comes to how to, pivot the business. You have a pretty impressive site, a tunnel, IBA, self-serve. You got a dog wash that I wanted to kind of talk to you about specifically because there may be some changes there. But how do you balance out all these different profit centers on site? Is there any part that you're focusing the membership on more than the others, or do you offer membership for tunnel, IBA, and self-serve? Kind of walk us through your site and kind of how you you work it in your business.
Yeah. Well, we're FlexServe. My main focus has always been the tunnel, where that's the bulk of the business is coming through the tunnel. And we do the insides of the vehicles, which we call it a mini detail. And I would say anywhere from 12 to 15% of our customers purchase that mini detail. And then when we switched to, right when we switched to EverWash, I was like, a lot of the membership programs had, on the cloudy days or the days where it had rained, they had to stay open.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's killing me on the labor, because if I have to be able to do any details at all, I'm going to have 5 people just sitting around, or, in the car. If the roads are dirt, the roads are wet. Let's face it, when the car leaves the lot, it's going to be just as dirty as when it came in, when that dirt from the roads splashing back up on the car. So I incorporated the in-bay automatic into the club system.
Smart.
So now my members have 24-hour access. So not only can they wash in the tunnel, but they can, after hours, if they're out to dinner and the birds crap on their car or something, they can go through the in-bay and get it off.
That's a huge value add.
So I think so. I've done to be honest with you, I've done a terrible job advertising it. So that's my focus too. With the with the sales rep and all, and use that as an added value, that they have 24-hour access, and it allows me to not have to worry about being open on those days that are snowing or raining or
Makes sense.
or drizzled in the morning or whatever, because my club members can still wash. They still have an opportunity to wash.
Absolutely. And then, we had talked earlier in the week about the pet wash, the dog wash you have on site.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some creative plans for turning that into something a little bit different to continue to add value for members. You want to walk us through that story and kind of what happened with that?
Yeah, I'm mulling over some different ideas that I have. The dog wash has been on a decline for the last probably 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
When they opened a Petco about half a mile from me, and Petco offers the full service dog washing for $10 or $15, I believe it is.
Right.
So when they came in, I guess people were like, "Well, what am I going to do it myself for when I can go drop the dog off at Petco and then come back an hour later and it's done?"
Yeah.
So it's been on decline. So I was like, okay, well, what can I do with that area? It's probably a 10 by 10 or 10 by 15 or so area. That's all enclosed inside. And the more operators I was talking to and watching how they were doing things, so a lot of them have the towel drying.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really seriously considering adding towel drying to our services. And if I do that, then I'll remove the dog wash and I'll put the laundry, the Continental washing machines or whatever in that space. And I've already got an area for them to hold the towels and everything right in there. So, and that would be an employee staging area. They could sit in there too if we weren't busy, if they didn't have any cars to towel dry.
Yeah, when you get that in, let us know, because I can stop and I'll run through on my way back from Ocean City, Maryland.
There you go.
When I run by. Are you right off the exit there? You by the Wawa in Middleton?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Well,
I remember
I'm
Frank telling me.
from the new wall, the new Wawa that you're talking of. I'm about a mile down, farther south.
Yep. If you're in that area, stop by.
Yeah, not far at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, hopefully a lot of people in the Philly area here hear this.
Absolutely.
My neighbors are in Ocean City now. I better text them, tell them, give them your address.
There you go. Yeah,
on the way back.
Get it worse.
Absolutely. Awesome. One of the other things that we had talked about, Todd, that you're thinking about, doing more of is charity and community fundraising work. What's driving that desire, and what role do you want you and your car wash to play in Middletown?
Yes. Another thing, when you get into being an operator, you're wearing all these hats and you're constantly doing different things on different days. And it's never really the same thing other than just doing the books and the normal stuff. But you always have something that pops up that you have to take care of on a daily basis. So, I've been a member of the Middletown Area Chamber of Commerce for the 9 or the 10 years coming up that I've owned this place, and I've done a very poor job of going to the events and the breakfasts and the coffees and the business openings and things like that the Chamber of Commerce does. And I was speaking to a friend of mine who is a consultant, and he used to be a headhunter and finding people jobs and everything. And he was the one that kind of brought it up to me about the charity events, and it's really a community driver. And, I did a lot of that as a district manager, going to the Car Wash Association meetings and dinners and, networking with the operators and other sales reps from the different companies and such. So I really enjoy doing that, and I don't know why I ever got away from it. I guess, sometimes you just get so busy, you just time flies by and you just don't realize it's gone. So I'm trying to kind of switch my focus back to doing that. And I think by getting some charity events in here, maybe we can do something with autism or veterans or Special Olympics or something to help drive community awareness and get the community involved. And hopefully I will be a champion for this community.
Absolutely.
As we are the oldest car wash here. We've been here the longest of anyone here.
Yeah, that's great.
And now there's 4 tunnels.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if Max will edit what I'm about to say, but, Sean and Steven, from an idea standpoint and some concepts, probably be a great resource for you on that. We have some playbooks written up for that, how to get some of those people on site to help drive the event, drive the, more money for the charity and everything. And I've said this before on the show, I'll say it again. This industry in community and service and, giving back I've never seen anything like it.
It's pretty unmatched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear.
It is. And I do a lot of networking with the different churches and schools and things like that they have their different events that they have going on, like strawberry festivals and silent auctions and all kinds of things. And I typically give them books of car washes to auction off to help their cause. And I've been doing that since I started.
Amazing. Well, keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Really good.
So, you're hitting 10 years this August. Congrats again.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's the biggest change that you've seen in the industry over that time? And what's one thing that you wish you would have known sooner?
The biggest change. Oh, it's always a kind of a change in environment. I think that I've seen a lot of the service levels coming back to where people are starting to want the services done for them,
Right.
like the mini details and things that we're doing here. So I don't think that has died. It kind of faded away somewhat with the express model and the free vacuums and such. And I think that we can probably, what I'm doing is trying to incorporate a little bit of all of it. And hopefully that's going to work especially with the sales rep. And I'm also considering adding more vacuums and stuff out front.
Awesome.
To have the services for them. So yeah, absolutely.
Keep adding value, man. That's what drives loyalty and freezes out any of the competition for sure.
Yeah, and I think not being afraid of change. That seems to be a sticking point for some.
Yeah.
That and even customers, they don't sometimes like change, but I think you have to keep refreshing your image and your signage and your marketing and everything else to keep everything fresh.
And that's the not being afraid of change. Let's hold on that for a second. I know Chris wants to probably talk about that a little bit. A lot of the pushback we get when we talk to a car wash operator is changing the mindset from a retail mindset to one of membership, right? And really pushing the membership. It looks like you're not afraid of making that change with the steps you're taking to add value, add the towel dry, add the full-time salesperson. So sometimes taking that first step is the hardest, right? Doing the cannonball off the high dive is not the easiest choice to make, but the splash you get from that cannonball is well worth the fear. Not bad analogy for right off the top of my head, right, Chris?
That's actually pretty good because I grew up in a swim club, and you had the low dive and the high dive, and you do the cannonballs off both in the higher dive. When you reach higher, you get a bigger splash.
Absolutely. Chris, did you have anything else for Todd here before we wrap up?
I just want to thank him for your time today, Todd. We really appreciate your time and your partnership with EverWash. Congratulations on the 10 years, and we wish you continued success, and we look forward to playing a part in as your wash continues to grow.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep us posted on the success you have. I see another huge growth year in your future here, Todd.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, that's Todd Witchard, folks, the owner of Diamond Car Wash in Middletown, Delaware. That does it for our interview. We'll be right back with Suds and Stuff, Summer Edition, to wrap up the podcast. Keep it locked here on Members Only, the EverWash podcast.
All right, welcome back to Members Only, the EverWash podcast. Max, we're back with the summer edition of Suds and Stuff.
Nice.
Our favorite time of year.
Yes.
What do you got going on this summer?
So
give me some traditions, what you like to do in the summer.
Summer in the city is really fun. We are huge advocates of hitting all the summer festivals, street festivals, all the different neighborhoods in Philadelphia throughout the entire summer, block parties, beer festivals, flea markets, all that stuff. So there's nothing quite like beating the street with a beer in your hand, $100 in your wallet, and looking for tchotchkes to buy,
and
right?
Nothing but time. So love that. We're going to talk sports obviously in a little bit, but this summer is especially special because the World Cup is in Philadelphia. Yes.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'm excited to take full advantage of that this year. And as far as traditions go, growing up as a first generation Italian American, we would always go back and visit my family over on the good old boot every summer. So My grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, literally everyone but my parents and I are over in Italy. So we would go visit the region of Abruzzo every year. Lovely region where you have the Adriatic coast as well as the Apennine mountain range right there in central Italy. So right where my grandparents are situated, we're 15 minutes from the shoreline and 30 minutes from the mountains. So it was great because, you could escape to the beach during the day, but, on the weekend, you can also take a ski lift to the top of a mountain peak and put a sweater on and enjoy the sights. So
Can you ski? Can you do both?
you can't ski in the middle of the summer. You can't. The skiing season does run pretty long, but no, none of that. Luckily, it's grassy. The shepherds are out with their flocks, so you can see that extremely southern Italian, time to be had there. But yeah, so that's always what I look forward to growing up, and my wife and I are looking into maybe going back to see the family this summer. So
Nice.
hopefully that's in the cards.
Oh, wait, I owe you something.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
I'll
thinking
get-
about going to Sicily. So
I will get that to you.
We would always add a trip within Italy
Yes.
in addition to visiting the family. We'd spend, if we go for 2 weeks, you spend a week with your family, being wined and dined and fed and not spending a single cent, which was always nice. And then we'd spend a week, seeing a different region of Italy that we haven't seen. So whether it's Rome or Florence, Venice, Cinque Terre, down in Puglia and the heel of the boot. This year, we're thinking about Sicily, which you visited recently, so you do owe me an itinerary.
I do owe you an itinerary.
Especially as it relates to volcanoes and The Godfather.
Yes. Highly recommend the Godfather tour in Taormina. Yeah, well worth the time.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? What are you looking forward to this summer? What are things that you have looked forward to in the past?
In the past, it was more from my childhood, early days. As you know, growing up on the other side of the states, swim clubs were huge, like huge. So when I was a child, it was always a swim club. It was baseball from 9 to 12 with the guys at the park, run to the swim club, and then run to your baseball game.
Nice.
It was a full day as a kid. But, as we grew up and, your friend group expands, we ended up down the shore.
Nice.
Down the Jersey Shore for a lot of summers, 5 summers. So that was fun.
That's where you met your wife, right?
That's where I met my wife, yes, in Wildwood. Shout out to the Garden State Bar, which isn't there anymore, but that's where we met and many, 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 many summers ago, but oh good. Now it's just about the granddaughter.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with her? And travel, as you know, we love to travel. This year we have, next month we're heading down to the Carolinas to meet my wife's family. They live in Florida, so it was always the halfway point.
Nice.
Used to be every year, now it's every other year. Started out as a smaller group. Now it's about 30 people total.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Get one of those big,
no,
big shore houses?
We don't, because I need my own, quote unquote, I need to go to my own corner. So what we started doing is renting condos in the same building.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
That's
everybody, there's a little bit of separation,
Yeah.
but we get together for that. August, I love August because it's my birthday. It always depressed me though. It was the day or two before school at the end of the month. But this
Yeah.
August, it's something a little different for me. I am going to Pinehurst, North Carolina.
Nice.
A 5-day golf trip with my friends from
Right
college.
on, right on.
We're going to play the legendary Pinehurst #2. I'll need a calculator or an abacus to keep score. Not sure, but it's not about the score. It's about the experience. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
looking forward to that. I always just like going. I was always the guy who never had real definitive plans growing up in my 20s. I just like you, you're in the city, so it's more centralized. You know where you're going.
I can roll out of bed and find something to do.
I just like going,
Yeah.
doing different things in the summer. Whether it's hiking, there's 2 great parks by us for hiking, or just hanging out at the brewery, just being outside.
That's
I guess
awesome.
is it. Yeah.
This is the July episode of Members Only.
Yes.
So what you got going on for 4th of July, Independence Day this year?
4th of July is going to be pretty calm. We got invited actually to a party in Conshohocken. Not sure if we're going to go because it's pretty far for us. But nothing really. There's nothing crazy planned for that. Our neighbors are having a party, and they usually have pretty, as the kids say, it's usually a banger.
Yeah.
So
it's lit.
Yeah, it's lit, and they got the pool, and I think I might just play it safe and stay there. But I'm gonna play it by ear because of the granddaughter. What about you and the wife?
Yeah, so we live in the city of Philadelphia, obviously where it all happened
Yes.
250 years ago. So there will be no shortage of stuff going on in the city. We're huge fans of bringing the picnic basket and a blanket out to Penn Treaty Park in Fishtown, watching 3 sets of fireworks. It's a great vantage point. You get the Penn's Landing fireworks,
Right.
You get the Camden fireworks, and then you get the casino fireworks right there, Rivers Casino. It's right next door. So you get essentially all the fireworks in the city except for the Parkway fireworks, which in my opinion are a little overrated because that's where everyone else goes. But, really excited about it this year and excited to have a playoff World Cup game going on in Philadelphia that day. I'm not necessarily going, but I will definitely be watching.
So do they coordinate the times on those 3 places?
Yeah.
Or they just all go once? And
No, it's all kind of like scattered. So you can really see like 3 sets of fireworks from the same spot.
That's living in suburban America. Let's say that. Yeah, I do miss that. I always enjoyed the fireworks. It's a little more scheduled where I am.
We get a lot of unprompted. I mean, it started yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Some self-contained explosive devices going off.
Let's say that some of my neighbors probably had headed down to the Carolinas early to get the real fireworks because seeing what was exploding over our rooftops last night was pretty impressive.
I am not a fan of self-indulging in fireworks.
Yeah.
I think that is a profession that needs to be trained.
Yes.
Maximum training in security and safety.
Yeah.
I've seen some bad things.
Well, Jason Pierre-Paul, shout out to a former Giants defensive end who blew his hands off with fireworks.
But, you brought up the and I don't know, I heard what it is. Obviously, it's not the bicentennial. It's actually a long term. And I heard it on the news the other day. Never knew what it was. Couldn't repeat it if my life was on the line right now. But I don't want to say sadly. I distinctly remember the bicentennial.
Yeah.
How great that was with our township always had a huge parade.
Yeah.
And it was a different time, obviously. Yeah. But man, I remember community, the city, everyone just coming together for that. Yeah. It was a huge event, and coming over being of European descent, people look at you like 200 years.
Yeah, right. Like,
really? That's nothing.
Talking about the town where my grandparents live, the one of the churches there in the piazza was built the same year Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the cornerstone, 1492. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, I wasn't around for the bicentennial, obviously, but walking around Philadelphia, there's still a lot of murals, a lot of artifacts from that year. And curious to see what lasting impact 250 has on Philadelphia and the country as a whole.
Well, it's always the center of the birth of the nation. So whether it's 250, 251, I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth, but from a standpoint of our nation, it's a pretty special place.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's the summer talk. We got to have a little bit of sports talk now.
But wait, real quick. What's your thoughts on water ice? Yes or no?
You mean water ice?
Water ice. There's no O in water.
I am a huge fan. Actually, there is a little mom and pop water ice shop right around the corner from us. My wife Grace and I took a walk over there over the weekend. First water ice of the summer. I got myself a regular chocolate water ice. I love the chocolate water ice. Regular, $4, this big. Great portion size. Yeah. I got that, and I got a small cherry slush. The small was, that's right, doubled it up, right? Drank it, $2 for the cherry slush. It's an incredible deal.
I tell you what, at the larger chain water ice places in the area, I do love that cherry chocolate mix.
It's really good.
That is good, but I'm a mint chocolate chip or mango guy.
Yeah, Grace is a mint chocolate chip gal. Mango is awesome. Blue raspberry, not a real fruit, but a very real flavor.
It's a real fruit. When it's in that cup, it's real. So, like you said, we obviously we want to spend some time on sports before we get out of here.
Yeah,
a lot going on in the last week. So,
two sports came to a close, and another one just started. Right. So
I know the answer, but I got to ask it anyway. Did the best team win the NBA championship?
Look, I mean, apologies to any of our Knicks fans, listeners. You know, I love you. I don't necessarily love the team. I will say that when the Spurs led, I believe, in 78% of the minutes played in the series, it's hard to say that the best team won. But this is sports. This is a 7-game series, and the Knicks were the best team when it mattered most.
Yep.
and look, I got to give all the credit in the world. Jalen Brunson, I doubt you're listening, but I respect the heck out of you, man. What you did, putting that team and really that city on your back, very impressive. Karl Anthony Towns has always been a hater, always been a doubter. You did it. Congrats to you. OG Anunoby, you're a dog. Mikal Bridges should have been a Sixer. We'll leave it at that.
He was for an hour and a half.
So, look, I think the Spurs, they impressed me in spurts. I mean, it's impressive to go up 30 on a team in the NBA Finals.
It was a learning experience,
but it was
for them.
a learning experience, and they'll be back. You know, I think the median age of the starting lineup is like 24 on that team, and you know that goes down if you take De'Aaron Fox out of the equation. Which who knows if he'll be back at this point, right?
Yeah.
This is not a Spurs podcast, so if you're a Spurs fan, you're like, no, he's staying. He's my guy.
Sorry, Sean.
Sorry,
Sean, while he's at the Wash, is a huge San Antonio Spurs fan.
Yeah, so congrats. Sorry, Sean.
Sorry, Sean.
Not congrats to you.
All right, and then probably our favorite hockey sport. Excuse me, let me say that. Our favorite sport in the playoffs, our favorite playoff sport, I'm going to try that for the 9th time, is hockey. Ended the next day. I truly believe the best team won that.
100%. Obviously, it was the team that beat the Flyers, so there's a little bit of, you know, you feel good about that. You can say the same about the Knicks and the Sixers, right? But man, the Canes, they just skated those dudes off the ice at the end.
After game 3, it's like they said enough already. It's time to play.
Now, those first 3 games, I mean, to your point, the Stanley Cup playoffs are undefeated. You know, a team's got to lose, but the series is undefeated. And those first 3 games, the back and forth, the overtimes, the double overtimes.
Oh, I can make the argument the first 5 games.
It was insane. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Insane. And shout out to Jordan Stahl as a Penguins fan, former Penguin, winning the Conn Smythe
oldest
trophy.
Player to win the Conn Smythe.
Yes, oldest player to
37.
win. And not the oldest player, the biggest gap between Stanley Cups in NHL history, 2009, 2026, 17 season.
That's impressive.
I remember when he's a spry 18-year-old, 20-year-old scoring a 3-on-5, 2-man short goal in Philadelphia. So congrats to him.
I think I was at that game.
Yeah.
And you know, grats to Brind'Amour. You know, Rod Brind'Amour, you know, former Flyer, obviously lifetime Hurricane at this point, you know, to win one and then as a player come back, win one as a coach. Really happy for the guy.
Yeah, it seems like they're a class organization, top to bottom.
100%.
So congrats to them, and they're probably still enjoying it a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'm not worried about who wins. I want to hear about the 4 days after. I'm not concerned about the games at this point.
Hockey players know how to party. That's for sure.
All right, are you strapped in for this one? Because I know I'm just going to tease this one, and I'm going to sit back and close my eyes and let you ramble on. Are you ready?
Hit me.
The World Cup of Soccer in Philadelphia.
We're here, man. I was there. My wife and I were lucky enough to go to Ecuador versus Ivory Coast. We spent the entire day downtown. Shout out to our coworker Mark Leventhal and his son Steve, who were down there with us. We did a little bit of Irish bar hopping, and it was the least Irish experience in those Irish bars because Ecuador took over Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It was amazing. All the yellow jerseys, all the folks from abroad coming in, really enjoying themselves in the city. We got to watch the early game at one bar, moved over to another bar for the second game. Second game was incredible. Netherlands versus Japan, 2-2 draw. I know we're not used to ties here in the United States, but that's about as exciting as a tie can get.
No, that second half, we talked about it in the off hour yesterday. That second half was amazing.
Incredible. And then, you know, taking the subway down with the people, because I wasn't paying a $1.25 for parking down in Philadelphia Stadium, as they call it. We took SEPTA down. Hats off to SEPTA. They did a great job shuttling people to and from the game, walking in. was incredible. You have people broadcasting, media from all over the world broadcasting, interviewing people, talking to folks, Philadelphian or abroad. Really getting the sights and the sounds was awesome. Bought myself an Ecuador jersey in the parking lot walking in because it was 95% Ecuador fans, 5% Ivory Coast fans. I felt like I had to support the home team.
The home
right?
team, yes.
And boy,
you always do in that stadium.
I never supported the away team. That's right. So
let me ask this.
Yeah.
Before I want to touch on the U.S. game real quick.
Yeah.
Your level of excitement leading into it was palatable for months.
Yes.
You know, if you would have won the Italy thing, I would have been worried we'd never see you again. But you know, in a way, I'm kind of glad they lost on that front. But with your excitement going in, your excitement going to the game itself, did it live up to everything you thought?
Oh my God! I mean, it was 100%. Your question, 100%. I gotta say, the fanfare was off the charts. I mean, this was a group match, not a playoff game, not an elimination game, and it was treated with the gravitas of a Super Bowl. I mean, the team intros, the bringing out of the flags that are, you know, as big as half of a football field each. The highlight reel to really get everyone a flavor of the team, you know, the player intros, the fanfare from the Ecuadorian crowd, right? The singing the national anthem, the soccer chants, you know, the insults that I can't repeat. I do understand Spanish pretty well, and there was some pretty colorful language being spread in those seats. It absolutely met my expectations and then surpassed it some.
Money well spent.
And look, I feel bad for the Ecuadorian fans. They did lose 1-0. They had about 5 solid opportunities and probably 2 more close calls by the end of it.
When Ivory Coast scored, you could have heard a pin. When that game was over and they were wrapping up, you could have heard a pin drop in that building.
The 15 people rooting for Ivory Coast that were in that crowd were very happy. It was almost funny though, because, you know, we kind of got wrapped up in the Ecuador of it all being, you know, so overwhelmingly pro Ecuador of a crowd that, you know, Ivory Coast scored the goal. I turn to my wife, I go, we should be more excited about this. We just saw a goal scored in the World Cup in our hometown. This is amazing.
Well, now in that moment, you are an Eagles fan going to Giant Stadium. You just have to sit on your hands.
It felt that way. It felt that way. And again, I got to give the Ecuadorian fans a ton of credit. Super kind, polite people, generous people. The subway ride home, you know, I've been on some really rough subway ride homes from Eagles losses, Phillies losses, you know, et cetera. Everyone was just happy to be there, man. Happy to be at the World Cup in a new city, enjoying the hospitality of others. So shout out to FIFA. Can't believe I said that. Shout out to SEPTA. Shout out to Ecuador and the Ivory Coast. And here's to a couple more weeks of fun in the city.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. We got to, you know, we've been here a while today, so we probably got to wrap soon, but real quick. Being the casual soccer fan, I've coached travel soccer. I'm not a soccer aficionado and anyone, but I understand the game. I know it's played. That was the best U.S. men's performance I've seen in my lifetime in an international competition.
I've seen damn near every match that's been played up to this point, and the United States is the team that has impressed me the most. You could argue, you know, Germany 7-1. They didn't play, you know, the toughest competition. You could argue France looked really good in their effort. They didn't do much in the first half. They needed to rally to get their goals. And then obviously, you know, Argentina and Messi, you know, looked really good last night. He had his first hat trick of his World Cup career. But with all that being said, no one has impressed me like the U.S. side. And hopefully, you know, this is going to come out, you know, in about a week. So hopefully Christian Pulisic will not be injured by the time this posts online. But if they can stay healthy and maintain that quality, this could be a deep run for, I'm going to say the home team, for one of the home teams.
Well, a deep run for them.
Yeah.
For me, a successful World Cup is getting out of the
group stage.
That's a win for them.
Yeah, 100%.
in winning that first game.
100%.
If they get there, everything else, it's gravy after that.
Now, if things go well, we get a USA playoff game in Philadelphia. That would be
on July 4th.
On July 4th.
I don't know where else they would play.
That would be pretty. That would be pretty crazy.
And that's the first round. That's the first leg of the knockout rounds.
July 4th. Round of 16. So I believe that's second round of the knockout because 32 and then 16. Yeah. So round of 16 would be wild. So
that would be.
So USA, we're pulling for you guys, obviously, especially since my Italians did not qualify.
Yeah.
Tough. But yes,
our
Italians,
Italians. You saw my T-shirt I bought for the World Cup. The Italy T-shirt.
That's right.
It's going back into Georgia, 2030.
So Chris, I think it'll only be fitting if we do what every American does come World Cup time. A little USA chant, maybe.
Hey, Max, I'm in.
Ready?
You say when?
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
USA, USA, USA,
USA. All right.
All
We're guaranteed to win now.
We got to lock up Suds and stuff on that. All right. We're going to return. We're going to lock up Suds and Suds on that one, Max. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned to Members Only, the EverWash podcast.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Man, I feel like I just ran in a World Cup soccer game. That's these episodes, they get long, Chris.
Max, like I said at the beginning, I was a little worried about the content in this slower season, but I think I need a nap. Yeah. After that one, we were all over the place, but man, another excellent show. Great job putting it together.
You too,
shout out again to Diego Exchange and Diego out there, our podcast partner. We would be almost negligent if we didn't mention our
brand new
digs.
Studio, right? Yeah. Got some new digs, new couches.
Yeah.
We're nice and comfy now.
If I look a little tired and a little laid back today, it's from this very comfortable new couch. I'm not wedged in there like 10 pounds of sausage in a 5-pound tube in the other chair. So little adaptation here to the new chairs, but love the new studio. Great job, guys.
Absolutely. Well, that does it, guys. That's episode 6 in the books of Members Only. Huge thanks to Sean for his At the Car Wash segment. Huge thanks to Todd Witchard from Diamond Car Wash in Middletown, Delaware. Appreciate your business. Appreciate your partnership. We wouldn't be here without car wash operators like Todd. To Jason in Texas, who left us our first email, thank you so much. Remember, the mailbag is always open. Call us at 215-259-8048. I swear I'm going to memorize that phone number at some point. And or feel free to email us if you're a bit more bashful at podcast@everwash.com. As always, subscribe, follow, leave us a review, comment, talk to us on YouTube. Man, we just want to engage with the industry. So let us know what's on your mind. We're here for you and ready to answer your questions. With that being said, we'll see you next month for Members Only, the EverWash podcast.